Well,
Well, it's 5 o'clock, so. Harry, we have everyone. It is 5 o'clock if you're prepared to start.
I'm prepared to start, so we'll call the meeting to order. Thanks everyone for coming to this special meeting. We will dispense with the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag in our absence, but we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. And Dave, you and I spoke earlier about an agenda change. Would you like to, well, first of all, I guess I should ask for a motion to approve the agenda.
make the motion.
Second.
Second.
Okay, and now for discussion, Dave had talked to me earlier about whether or not we could put an additional item on. So Dave, do you want to speak to that for a second, please?
Yeah, luckily Christine reminded me that I had neglected to place an item on that our attorney suggested was a good idea. It's just under miscellaneous personnel, and what it does is it just quantifies the changes to Lori's contract that are reflective of a clause in her contract to match some of the that calls for it to match the administrator's contract. If you recall, we did approve a new contract for the Administrators Association earlier, and all this does, I asked Chris Lanchanton, one of our attorneys, if it was necessary. She said, I suggest that you adopt this amendment because it just makes it clear what should be reflected there. I apologize that it's late. I've had it since May. Should have already done it.
So I'm not too sure about others, Dave, but you went silent for a bit.
Oh.
Did that happen to anybody else?
And we had a big clap of thunder, so let me just talk again. What occurred was with the new administrators agreement that we reached in March, that we approved in March, there is an item in Lori's contract that calls for it to match that particular item. So all we're doing is on the advice of our attorney, we're just
Getting
adopting
all
that.
aligned
Yeah, getting all the i's dotted and t's crossed.
Okay. Anyone have any other questions or additions or deletions to the agenda tonight? Okay, if there are none, all those in favor of adopting this as our agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carried. Moving into the meeting then, we have a number of personnel items. Assuming that everybody had a chance to see those and raise any questions to Dave, I'm going to propose these as a consented agenda, and I'm recommending that the board approve the personnel items A through H as recommended by the superintendent. May I have a motion, please?
So move.
And a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion on any of the personnel items as proposed? Okay, then, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, that motion carried. Moving then to the business items, we'll do those individually because you may have, there may be questions. The first item is bid recommendations, and the motion is that pursuant to the competitive bidding process, it is recommended that the board accept the bid recommendations as noted by memoranda from the treasurer and the chief financial officer in the following areas. And those areas are milk, bread, chemical, paper, ice cream, groceries, meat and dairy, net office invoice, and phone, PA, and lockdown system. Is there a motion to accept those?
So move.
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion on any of those? So I know a lot of those are group bids, I believe. But does anyone have any questions about any of the bids that are being proposed? Okay, then if there are none, I would ask that all in favor of approving the motion as presented, please.
Aye.
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 Opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. The next item has to do with the lease at Gleep Street. And it is recommended that the board authorize the district superintendent to execute the amended lease agreement by and between the HFM BOCES and the Greater Johnstown School District for the use of Gleep Street Elementary School effective July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2030. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
So move.
And a second, please?
Second.
Okay, do we have any discussion of the lease agreement? Or Dave, do you want to elaborate on that one a little?
Yeah, there just were a couple of requests. We adopted the lease. And then upon further or more review, Johnstown had a couple of items they wanted to clarify. They really weren't anything really consequential. One centered around the question of whether or not our school would be on the network. As you know, it's very much a heavily technology reliant program. What we arrived at was yes, we will be on their network. So they requested that we remove the article that referred to the reduction in the lease if we weren't on their contract. And the other part just asked for some clarification. And you know, when we talk about being a good partner, we're renting the facility. They just wanted to ensure that they would still have access for community-based programs after hours, and we certainly want that to be the case. It is the case typically in our leases. This 10-year lease just was a little different, so we're in a real good place with Johnson.
Okay, does anyone have any questions on the resolution to accept the lease for the Glebe Street amendment? Okay, there being no discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. The next item is a resolution to reject a bid submitted for an RFP 20-01. And it is recommended that the board accept the following resolution pertaining to RFP 20-01. Whereas on August 27, 2019, the HFM BOCES issued an RFP for adult academic software and received two responses. And whereas the BOCES did not take action to award or reject such contract at that time and would like to do so now, therefore be it resolved that the HFM BOCES hereby rejects any and all bid submissions for adult academic software as advertised in the RFP issued on August 27, 2019. May I have a motion, please?
Motion.
And,
I'll second.
okay, do we have any discussion or questions about this action? Okay, then all in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? That motion carries. The next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board authorize the independent contractor service agreement by and between HFM BOCES and Deborah Grimshaw to provide refresher or new evaluator training for principals effective July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2021. May I have a motion, please?
So move.
And may we have a second, please?
Second.
Do we have any questions about the contractor agreement with Deb Grimshaw? Okay, all in favor of approving the service agreement, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. The next item on the agenda is a recommendation that the board authorize the district superintendent to execute the independent contractor services agreement by and between HFM BOCES and Deborah Grimshaw to coordinate all aspects of homeschool instruction support for districts participating in the HFM BOCES Homeschool Closer from July 1, 2020 to June 30, 2021. May I have a motion, please?
Make the motion.
And a second, please?
Second.
Do we have any questions or comments regarding this motion? Lori, could you give us an update in terms of, I know we started this last year and it seemed to have a lot of district support. I'm assuming it has more support because we're going ahead, but can you give us a little update in terms of how that worked?
What we found over the course of the year is that more and more, we kept adding more families into the service from different districts, particularly when there was the issue with the vaccinations. So that was a huge concern early on. The districts have been very supportive of the service. Deb has been providing a great communication between the districts, and she is coordinating with the families all the requirements for homeschool and making sure that they know when assessments are due, making sure that they have the homeschooling plans in place as we start. So this is now beginning into we're getting into one, ending up with the assessments from 1920, and it will be starting to be very, very busy as we go into the 2021 school year, as we help support parents with making sure that they have everything in place, including their assessment schedule, including the plan for their instruction for children. So from now until end of September, October, it will be very busy with Deb, but she has developed great relationships with all of the school districts still in the service, and we anticipate another very successful year coming up.
Thanks, Lori. Anybody else have any questions or comments about this item? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, please say nay. Okay, that motion carries. And then the third independent contract agreement, and it is recommended that the board authorize the district superintendent to execute the independent contractor services agreement to conduct principal evaluations from July 1, 2020 through June 30, 2021. And we have a motion, please.
Motion.
And a second, please.
Second.
Do we have any questions or comments about this? Other than the fact that Deb Grimshaw looks like she's going to be real busy. Anything else? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. The next item is a request that we adopt a revised 2019-2020 school calendar. And it's recommended then that the board adopt the revised 2019. And may I have a motion, please?
So moved.
And a second, please.
Second.
Is there any discussion regarding the revised calendar? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say no. That motion carries. While it's not on the agenda, are there any board members that have any comments or anything they want to report before we go to into the last section of our meeting? I'd just like to comment that these kinds of meetings seem to be pretty highly efficient. They're pretty streamlined, but they're kind of impersonal. So personally, I'm looking forward to the day when we can all sit back around the table.
Here, here.
Absolutely.
See if I can get back to my item here. There are some future meetings that are coming. July 29th is our board meeting at which we will look at goal setting at 5 p.m. in the BOCES boardroom. Or I don't know, Dave, if we're going to still be doing it as a hybrid, either being there or here, but and then on August 26th, it's our regular board meeting at 5 p.m. The PTEC graduation ceremony or whatever the title is on that is going to be, I believe it's on Tuesday evening. Coming up next Tuesday with a rain date of Thursday. Any other dates that I'm missing, Dave or Lori?
Yeah, and, well, before getting into the dates, it's anticipated that the governor these orders go for 30 days. It's anticipated that the ability to hold remote meetings will be extended. The last order he gave in reference to that was on June 9th. But we do have the wherewithal to come together if you choose to, and we do have bigger rooms than this one. If it's the board's preference, we can certainly social distance if more board members would like to come. We do have tomorrow night, sorry for the back-to-back evenings, but we have the reorganizational meeting tomorrow night. And we'll try, if you recall last year, I think it was the record-setting year for personnel appointments over the summer, and we started the school year down a number of teaching staff. Lori, I think, can attest it's been a recurring topic at our executive team meeting, at our senior leadership meeting, that I would prefer to get out in front of the hiring. You saw some of the very difficult to fill positions we're taking care of tonight. I'm optimistic that we can get a great deal done in time for our July meeting. But if we find ourselves in a difficult position like we did last year, an early to mid-August meeting would make some sense, because if you think about it, if you're hiring someone that has to give notice, wait until late August to hire them. If we can get them on board, they can give notice in early August. This year looks a little better, we'll say, than last year, but hopefully each year we'll get a little better at this, and each year I'll reference back to it. You'll hopefully see that I have the habit of circling back to where we were the year before, and I certainly remember what I walked into last year, and I think we're on a better path this year.
That's an aggressive thing, get a teacher.
Yeah, special ed teacher was good to wrap up.
And then, excuse me, one other item that I think of. We received the sad news about Aaron's dad, and we'd asked Christine to send the obit to the board and the place in which you can make a donation if you choose to do that. So, and Christine was going to send a card to Aaron on behalf of the board. So we thank her for that. We express our sympathy to Aaron at this time. So, is there anything else any board member has for the good of the order here tonight? Okay, then Alan, you're up.
Make a motion, meeting be adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
That motion carries. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Harry, can you stay on for 1 second, Harry?
I can.
Yeah, and Lori and Kathy, stay. Just want to talk about tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Good night, everybody else.
Good night, everybody. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Hey, so Harry, Christina mentioned that we had talked about going over the reorg agenda. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do it tomorrow?
We'll be talking.
Dave.
I broke up?
I'm good either way. I'm actually unemployed as of this time, so I have plenty of time tomorrow, but I have plenty of time right now.
Well, and it's a good thing Gene stayed too. I'm sorry about that, Gene. I just was in panic when I saw the president hanging up.
I'll call you.
So why don't I project it, since I'm right in there
Okay.
already, and we can go through it. Don't you think it would be a good idea, Christine?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's a little bit.
Here I say I'm right in it, but am I?
Go to meetings. And I'm sorry I didn't put the July 1st in here. I did this meeting after the July 1st one.
Don't.
All right, so here we are.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, I'm not sharing yet. Hang on. I'm looking at it, but not sharing with you. There we go. So, administration of the oath of office, to board members. You would think it would be Gus, but it's not going to be Gus because he's finishing a term and he's already assumed, that term. So, it will be the others who were, elected, in April, May.
Porta and Mr. DeVal.
So it'll be Jean and John, and Christine will take care of that.
Okay.
Then nominations and elections of officers. And then the reorg appointments. And these are, you know, typical. We went through them last week to make sure that any adjustments that should occur did. For instance, Mike DeMeza's name is there instead of Jay's for CTE. Christine Curiota is there instead of Rick Potter's for Adirondack Academy, as we appointed her as the principal tonight. And most of these are just routine. I won't go through every one of them. If you were to choose to, you can. Then the reappointing resolutions. Kathy or Lori, and these are routine. These are the rates that we pay these particular positions, substitutes, and the like. And then we adjourn. So, any questions around the reorg?
Nope.
All righty. And we'll see you at 5 o'clock, and I think that'll be even quicker than tonight.
Yep. Okay, we'll look forward to it.
Okay.
See you tomorrow. Good night, Harry. Good night, Jean.
Everybody. We'll
Good
see you
night.
tomorrow.
Night, Kath. See you tomorrow morning. Hi, Dave. Do you need us for anything?
No, bye-bye.
Bye.